Power, Praise, and Prayer lineup. The Greater Elizabeth Missionary Baptist Church of Macon, where Reverend Derek Dumas is the lead servant, every Saturday at 11 a.m. on 980 a.m. WDDO. The Glory. Middle Georgia, will you help the WDDO 980 family welcome to our Glory Weekly lineup, the Flames of Fire Prayer Ministry, with Prophetess Shirley Person as host. Join this ministry every Thursday from 3:30 until 4 p.m. and tune into 980 WDDO and be blessed by the Flames of Fire Prayer Ministry with Prophetess Shirley Person. Wendy Hollis, the name you know. Yes, Butler Toyota, 4580 Riverside Drive in Macon. Everybody knows Wendy. She's making buying automobiles and riding easier just for you. No money down, no payments for 90 days. Over 500 vehicles in stock. Oh my, the choices. Wendy has been serving the Middle Georgia area for over 23 years. Wouldn't you call her a pro? Yes, she's a pro in seeing you ride out today. Wendy Hollis, the name you know. Call her today at 478-476-1770 or 478-808-0440, 478-476-1770 or 478-808-0440. Wendy Hollis. Did you say high praise at high noon? Yes, it's On with Don, giving you a high praise every day at 12:15. Join us live on Facebook and on 107.9 and 980 AM WDDO. Don said, you don't necessarily need a reason, just an opportunity. Join the high praise at high noon. Take your lunch with Don. Macon, you are doing it big. Don't miss the high praise at high noon, where you're on with Don. Glover Memorial Mortuary, located at 3241 Houston Avenue in South Macon, serving you and those you love with a personal touch is their motto for service. Sympathy, understanding, compassion, patience, and discounts available to lighten your financial burden. Dr. Walter Glover and staff are here to serve you and your family with a personal touch. They specialize in pre-need arrangements and cremation services with discounts given to every family with or without adequate insurance. Glover Memorial Mortuary, serving Macon and Middle Georgia since 1993.
Dad always said there's two ways you can practice law. You can either be a jerk or you can be a gentleman. I prefer the latter. If you need us, the Dozier Law Firm is here for you.
I don't think I used the word jerk.
Never knew my life could be this way. I never knew the sun could shine all day. Never thought I'd live beyond my past until I found Jesus. I never thought I'd be in this place. Oh, I'm glad, so glad I'm living my life in this place. Ooh, I never knew my heart would feel again. You see, I was so hurt, never knew the pain, would let me stand. Never thought the tears would go away. Never thought my tears would go away. Until I found you, Jesus. I never thought I'd be right here in this place. Oh, I'm so glad. Yes, I am. I'm living my life. Oh, Lord. There's a place in God where we can all be free. A place where God can get the best out of me. There's a secret place in God where He
Connecting the community through gospel. The new 107.9 FM, W300EB, Macon, and WDDO 980 AM, Perry, Macon.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 99 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, media staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions of the participants of the broadcast.
Ask Elaine, better ask Elaine. Ask Elaine, better ask Elaine. Ask Elaine, better ask Elaine. Ask Elaine, better ask Elaine.
Well, good afternoon. Wednesday evening, it's rainy today, but at least it's not storm. Put up with this. But it's Wednesday evening, it's 3 o'clock. We welcome you to Elaine. Those of you who are listening on those who are on 107.9 FM, those who are on Facebook, Instagram, and all those other grams, we want to welcome you. We're just so happy to have you there. Thank you so much for tuning in and joining us and listening to what we have to say. We try to bring you the kind of information that's going to be helpful to you. This is your voice, Commissioner Elaine Lucas, welcoming you once again to Ask Elaine. And we've got a very, very special guest today. Very special guest. None other than Mr. Roger Jackson. And most of you know Roger. You know him of NFL football fame. Many of you know him from Motivating Youth Organization fame. Many of you know him from Mercer Color Football fame. Many of you know him in other ways, but all of those are positive. And so after we take care of one or two other little items, then we're going to start our chat today with Roger Jackson, who's going to share with you some things and then challenge you to help with some things. So once again, welcome. We want to express our condolences to the families of those who have lost loved ones. One that comes to mind is a young lady, 46, who suffered a health emergency at work and passed away. Unfortunately, her name was Idara Waters Sims, and she is wife, mom to 2 kids, from what I understand. Her mother and father and stepfather are Faye Waters Shannon, Faye Anderson Waters Shannon, and her stepfather is Mr. Willie Shannon. She's also the niece of our good friend and board member Sherry Shannon Miller. And so we want to express our condolences. And we also want to remember the families of those who had the unfortunate situation of contracting COVID, and many people have passed away. My understanding is that from the last report to this one, we have had over 500 people to pass away in our area from COVID. So our show last week was with the coroner, and it was about COVID and about how we have to protect ourselves and protect our little ones, our seniors, our elderly in our families, but not just them. There's some new strains of the new variants of COVID that are just wrecking our families. Everybody, I think, who's listening knows of someone who has contracted COVID and had a really life and death experience with it, or who have passed away. And you can do your part by getting your vaccinations. You also need to watch the media and get the latest information on those who will who are being recommended for a booster. I understand that those folks who are 65 and above who have other kinds of major health issues, are the ones who are going to have the recommendation that they receive the COVID booster. So just watch your news media or listen on Wednesdays when we try to give you the most up-to-date information on it. We've had some people to join us. We have Reverend Randall, and she says that she's praying for them. If you want to read the comments, you can after the show. This show is recorded, so you can go back and view the show if you're listening on radio. But if you are at a convenient place and can join us, go to the Glory, and you can watch this program on Facebook Live. We also have Steve Bryant, who is a native of Macon, who is listening from Alexandria, Virginia. We want to say hello to him. He's with us every week. Cynthia Searcy is with us, and she wishes everybody a good afternoon. Reverend Randall says good afternoon, Mr. Jackson. And happy belated birthday. Thank you. Yesterday was a wonderful day. Those of you who know me know I'm not a real birthday celebrator, but if that's a word. But yesterday was really a special day. It was a beautiful day yesterday.
You finally got your driver's license.
And did I what?
You finally got your driver's license.
I finally got my driver's license. Finally, they said, "Oh no, you're too young. Don't come down here until you get of age." And yes, I finally got my driver's license. And they said, "Well, you're still stuck on 39." I said, "Yeah, I'm still stuck on 39. I'll be stuck there for a while." But thank you to all of those who wished me a happy birthday. I was just so pleased. It just puts a smile on your face to know that there are people who take the time to say happy birthday. And so I try to return the favor when I see that there are people on Facebook or somebody lets me know that there's someone having a birthday. And Reverend Bumpers does that all the time too. He wishes everybody a happy birthday every day. And First Lady Bumpers does as well. There are a number of kind people who just wish people a happy birthday because it makes them feel happy. So we're just real pleased, and thank you so very much. I got some good presents and stuff. I got a nice present from the senator, and got a nice present from the girls and my grand children and my son and his family. Oh, it was really nice.
Oh, I take it.
Really
Lenny's
nice
wife had to go and pick out the gift.
Well, it was a nice birthday yesterday. So thank you all very, very much. I appreciate you. Now, if there are announcements, special information that you want to share, you know the number, 478-250-1444. 478-250-1444. Those of you who are on Facebook can see the number there. You always are at liberty to share information or comments in the chat, but also you are welcome to come in now to call in. But now we go to our special guest, Mr. Roger Jackson. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
You're a hard guest to get. You're just in and out and all over, but we were fortunate enough to get a clear day where we could get you in.
Exactly.
You are known by a lot of people as a football player.
Yes, ma'am.
An NFL player. So tell us a little bit about you for those few people, those handful that might not know about you.
Well, I'm from Macon. I played football right down the street here from the studio at Central High School. We won a state championship in 1975, which is the only state championship in football in the city since integration.
Oh.
Yes.
You were responsible too. You noticed that Central was the only one without the sign,
Right.
the flashing sign. That sign, I saw some pictures of it. What did you do about that?
We worked hard as a committee. Dr. Dupree, the principal there, and the athletic director, Coach Taylor, Michael Rogers, and Reginald Mays, and myself. And we have to give credit to Mr. Frazier, the former principal, who's now moved downtown in the big office upstairs in the board.
Yeah.
But it was his idea, and I always said that, hey, we need a sign. And they didn't build it into the building project when they built the school. They kind of overlooked it. I left it out. Forgot about it. But we wanted a sign, and we wanted a sign that was going to really state a message. That we are the Central Chargers. You know, this is C's house.
All right.
And we wanted to be seen for miles. And you can see it, you know, from the top of the hill here on Napier Avenue, from Pinehone all the way down to Tappan Square Park. You know, and it's going to light up the community and bring some brightness there that will enhance our community.
That's important that those who get a lot of skills and encouragement from an institution, a school, that you give back. And so I thought that was a wonderful project.
And one of the things, you know, I wanted to be big, go big with it. You know, and my thing was talking with Mr. Frazier and Dr. Dupree and Coach Taylor was, you know, we got to create a revenue for our student body, you know, not just athletics, but our whole student body. You know, Central is an IB school, an international baccalaureate school, so we have to represent that educational part too. And the way about going about raising money is through advertising. And we got close to 1,000 students at Central, and they're going to be our future. And the selling point that I had with the community, with the businesses, is that you know, these are the ones that are going to talk to the parents who support them. And we advertise within the school on the intercom, you know, every Monday and Friday. These are the businesses that you're supposed to support, because they support you. And that was my selling point with all the businesses that are sponsors that do it. We're going to have you in front of the football crowd on Friday night or Thursday night. We're going to have you in front of the basketball crowd, men and women basketball, baseball, track, and then we're gonna announce you during school hours. You know, that hey, on Friday, this is your support for the weekend. On Monday, did you support your sponsors who supported you? And it's a way of generating a lot of funds and a great deal of money yearly.
That's good, but it takes somebody to lead the charge. And to put together the team, you know, to get it done. You know,
and one of the things I've come to realize about me is, you know, I kind of attract an audience, you know, because of my professional football. And people really open up the door and let me in. And I just have to have that topic that they want to hear.
Well, at the end of this program, people will understand some things and why that's really, really important. And for everybody who's out there who you think that there's nothing that you can do, that, you know, you don't have anything going on or whatever, you have something. You have 2 or 3 or 4 things that you can do. Pick some stuff and then go ahead and work on that and improve it. And then you can say, I did this just because it was the right thing to do. Now, tell us about your football career.
Well, I was starting linebacker for the Central High Chargers, and I earned a scholarship to Bethune-Cookman College, which is now Bethune-Cookman University. And I went on to become a pretty good football player at Bethune.
Understatement.
But and was fortunate enough to be in a great program, you know, and it's still a great program today. You know, Bethune-Cookman, our band, our student body, our athletic programs, you know, has really strived since I left. You know, I like to say that I kind of started it.
Well, it always takes a spark. Always takes that. And Bethune-Cookman started out as by Mary McLeod Bethune, whom many of you have read about, but she started that school in a boxcar. In a railroad boxcar. And she started it out, and then that school has grown from that boxcar to the wonderful institution that it is. That black woman. Black woman.
Yes. and powerful.
Powerful
And,
black woman.
I was at my time there. I was the first athlete to work in the foundation, and which in work study.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to work there. I was like, but the president's wife was over the foundation. Over the foundation. And she was like, Mr. Jackson, she said, "You're gonna work here. You're gonna come here just like I came here when I was in school." And it turned out to be a real good experience for me and the other work study students.
Yeah.
Because we still have a bond today. And we all have graduated from there.
Yeah.
But I went on and had a stellar career at Bethune-Cookman and got an opportunity to follow that and going on to play professional football. Mind you, when I first went there, I didn't go there to start out playing professional football. I just want to go in and be like my coaches here, Coach Reynolds, Coach Brody, and come back and be a coach and a teacher and give back to the community. But it got interrupted. And I got an opportunity to play for the Denver Broncos, and everything else is history. That was the greatest opportunity I've had, in life, in my athletic career. Bethune started it, Central started it, and then now I wind up being a little skinny kid from Timber Heights, Pleasant Hill, Unionville, that got an opportunity to play on Sunday. And I used to look at when David came back from your husband came back from Canada, and JT Thomas came back from Pittsburgh, and Julius came back from the New England Patriots, and talking with them and seeing how they carried themselves, and that that's a long shot that I can make it. So I'm just going to just be an educator. But things changed, and I matured, and my athletic ability began to blossom. And I began to get some notice from the NFL. And one thing led to another, and I latched on with Denver. And that's another story, how that happened. And we don't have time for that.
Yes, we do. Go ahead. This is it.
Well, we had a scout by the name of Elaine Huggins. And Elaine's been played a great part in my life, and get me to Denver. And we had pro day, and we got through running, and we was walking off, and he said, "Hey, number one." I wore number one. He said, "You had some good film." He said, "But you didn't run good today." I said, "No, sir." I said, "But next time." He said, "Won't be a next time." He said, "But I'll tell you what I'm going to do." He said, "You got the money?" I said, "No, sir." He said, "Here's a quarter." And he flipped me a quarter, and I caught it. He said, "Nice hands." He said, "Tell you what you do. Go to the room and write your biography. Send me a bio on you. Here's my address." He said, "I expect to have it in 3 days." I went and I wrote and told him everything about me, but mostly I talked about my academics. And, I was the highest scholastic award winner in athletics at Bethune, and he was like, funny thing, when he called me in 3 days when he got the letter, and, back then you living in the dorm, no cell phone, no phone in the room, and whoever can get to the phone, the pay phone, gets the phone. It was a break, and they said, "Roger, telephone." And I was like, tonight is not the night for my mom to call me. And so I answered the phone. He said, "Hey, Roger Jackson." I said, "Yes." He said, "It's Elaine Huggins." I said, "With the Denver Broncos?" He said, "Yeah." He said, I got your letter." He said, "I just like everything about you." He said, "I like smart people." He said, "Smart people don't make mistakes." I said, "Wow." He said, "I'm going to tell you this. If you don't get drafted, and we want you to come to be a Denver Bronco." He said, "And you'll make this team." I said, "Well, if I don't get drafted," I said, "I'll be there." And one thing led to another. And come draft day, we had 7 other guys on my team. My teammates got drafted. And Dallas Cowboys had me in the hotel going to sign me. And I had this money. And then I said, "Well, I want a pizza." And they gave me the money to go out to go get a pizza. And I'm walking down A1A over on the beach side in Daytona, and a limo pull up. And the guy, the window goes down, just like in the movie. And a Super Bowl ring come out and lay out there and say, "Hey, come in." I'm like, "No." So I just leaned over and looked. I said, "Oh, Mr. Huggins." He said, "Yeah." He said, "Come on." He said, "You ever there with them Cowboys?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Come on." He said, "You going to Denver?"
Oh,
and that's how I wound up in Denver.
Oh man, that's so interesting.
Going to get a pizza.
Well, you keep going. Keep going to get the pizza.
But I wound up in Denver.
Wonderful story.
Yeah, it is, and I got people now. You ask me, I should write a book, because I got
you
so
really
many
should.
stories.
I just can see that. I can see that whole story laid out.
And I'm playing in Denver. I make the team, and I'm one of the few rookies that got a chance to play because what Lodge said, they like smart players that don't make mistakes. And then wind up, I'm in the cafeteria one day, and then I hear this voice. I said, I know that voice. And I turn around, it was JT Thomas.
Oh, yeah.
Denver had traded for JT.
Uh-huh.
And then JT looked at me, and the reporter said, y'all know each other? He said, what you doing here? I said, I thought I was going to make the team. Now they traded for you. And JT trained me when I was in high school. And so the reporter's like, y'all know each other? He said, yeah, I raised that boy. So one thing led to another. And me and JT wound up being teammates. My high school idol, my mentor, I wound up playing football with. But by my third year, Lod say, hey, Roger, he said, God didn't bless you to play 10 or 15 years. I said, no. He said, you figured it out? I said, yes, sir. He said, I want you to start telling Dan Reeves you want to be a scout. I said, he said, I think you'd be a great scout because of your knowledge of the game and your smarts. He said, part of my job is to identify who's going to replace me. So I said, okay. So I started telling Coach, like, you're just going to play, we'll let you know. And then when it was over with, I'm back home. And I get a phone call, during the strike. Hey, you need to come back to Denver. I said, come back to Denver. I said, yeah. Lod called me, and I said, okay. I get back, and they said, you're going into scouting. And that started my whole 18-year career, from playing.
That is so interesting, y'all, isn't it? Oh, yeah. Cynthia Cersei says, she agrees that. And Steve Bryant, he's asking, did you play with JT?
Yes,
Thomas?
I played with JT 2 years.
Okay, we've got a call too.
Yeah, I played with JT 2 years. And, matter of fact, I saw JT this summer. Stayed the night with him up in Pittsburgh.
Is he?
He's in Pittsburgh.
So this was before he went to the Steelers?
No, this was after. That was his 14th year.
Oh, okay.
So we played his 15th and 16th year together.
Because he and David, my husband, were big buddies, and whenever he comes to Macon, they always hook up. We have a call. Yes, caller.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Hi.
Yeah. Hi, Miss Lucas, and happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
She still is accepting presents now.
Thank you very much.
Okay. My name is Anthony Hightower, ma'am, and I spoke with your sister yesterday.
Okay.
And man, what it is, I know, what I want to talk about, has nothing to do, with your show. But what I'm trying to do, ma'am, I'm trying to make it into the commercial business, and I've done a few commercials for 107.1. And, basically that's about it. But, everything just, it was so easy and so fun for me to do. And I was just, wondering and maybe hoping that maybe you could put me in contact with someone. I'm trying to get in contact with Mr. and Mrs. Freeman, the people that owns McDonald's.
The black couple that owns, they own what, 4 or 5 McDonald's?
About 7 or 8.
Is that what it is? I've lost count. I tell you what.
Yes, ma'am.
If you will message me, I will be glad to, give you the names of some people. You might want to check here at 980 AM or 107.9 here at the Glory. And then there are also some places I'll be glad to share whatever information I have.
Okay. But can I share a little something with you? And I want you to be a critic for me right now.
How long is it going to take? Because I do have a guest on.
Okay, maybe 15 seconds.
Okay, all right. Go ahead.
Okay, all right. I'm quite sure you heard the Arby's commercial where the guys on there where they're bragging about they have the meats, right? So my thing in retaliation to that is while some of the guys are out there bragging about they have the meat, here at McDonald's we have the meat and the sweet. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm loving it.
Oh, okay. You sound like a real natural. And I look forward to talking with you. I look forward to talking to you. Yes.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm holding for Commissioner Lucas.
Yes, yes. This is Elaine. Yes,
Hello.
sir.
Yes, Commissioner.
Yes.
Happy birthday. This is Larry C. Dunning Jr. speaking.
Yes, Reverend Dunning. Did I get that title right?
You can call me Larry.
Well,
I am so elated. I didn't know it was your birthday. I would have given you a gift, but it's never too late to get it straight, is it?
I was about, you took the words out of my mouth. And the lady who doesn't like to get gifts, I don't know what's wrong with her. We love to get gifts. That's very sweet of you. I was with Reverend, what is your title?
Larry. Pastor.
Reverend Pastor Larry Dunning. I was with him on Sunday at his church, Pentecostal Temple, that used to be Macedonia, but is now just a Pentecostal temple. Beautiful, beautiful sanctuary and family life center. Right. They burned their mortgage on Sunday. Wow. They burned it. And they had a wonderful, inspirational service on Sunday. Our former student and graduate, Terrell Dessau, led the praise part of it. And it was a wonderful one. I enjoyed it. Now, anything that it was kind of lengthy, and you notice I stayed for the whole thing.
That's what I was going to say. Pentecostals usually run a little bit longer than other denominations, but this lady, this wonderful public servant, stayed with us the whole time. And one of the reasons why the service was so great was because Commissioner Lucas was present. And I thank you for it. I will never forget you.
Yes.
The audience may not know, Commissioner Lucas used to walk with my father on the track, and there's a long history of being friends.
That's what happened. Now tell it like it is. Your daddy, Elder Dunning, he had the longest legs and the most beautiful smile. And we would get out on the Appling track. Mm-hmm. And we would try and keep up with him. Some of us who were a little younger than he was, he smoked us. He had the dust going around the track. We would be trying to keep up.
And that's when the track was dusty.
Oh, listen. Elder Dunning was a wonderful man, just the kindest man. And he took a little pity on us. Sometimes he'd slow down a little bit. But your dad was a superhero in my view. And we just remember him very fondly all the time.
Yes. I want to tell you one little story, and I know you got another guest here. And a wonderful guest you have. What a wonderful story to tell too.
Yeah.
Daddy treated me just like he treated y'all. I was on the track with him a few times, and I would talk, and I thought he would slow down with me. He would never slow down. I had to skip to catch up. But my last time with him walking, we were on the beach at the Atlantic Ocean, watching the sunrise. And on the beach, Commissioner, he couldn't walk fast. We were equal. The sand made us equal.
Oh, yeah, it does slow you down.
But thank you so much for coming, and I will find you somewhere to say happy birthday to the 39-year-old young lady.
You got it right. All the age right. Everything got that age right. Thank you so very much. I just
thank you. Thank you for what he's done. What a wonderful story.
Thank you.
Yes, he has
Keep
the
listening.
story.
We have more to come.
Yeah, that's why he's our special guest today. And thank you. We're going to have you on sometime, Pastor, so that you can tell your story as well. We have so many wonderful stories in Macon from people, and people don't know the stories. So we're going to tell you. We're going to tell you about it. But thank you so much for calling, and I'm just anxiously anticipating my present. He's gone. I think he left on my present. A few other people who have comments here. Steve Bryant still has more comments. Cynthia Cersei. Others who are on Facebook Live with us. We want to thank you for tuning in. Those who are listening on 980 AM. Those who are on 107.9 FM. Those who are on Facebook Live, Instagram, all of the other grams and all the other social media. Thank you so much for tuning in. Our special guest today is none other than NFL great, NFL standout, Denver Broncos, Mr. Roger Jackson. And he was telling us about how he got into went to the great Bethune-Cookman College and just tore it up down there, and then his friendship with someone who was a mentor to him, and now we're at the point where you're in the NFL and you're transitioning over to being a scout.
Yes.
So pick back up where you left off.
And in scouting, like Lyon used to say, you're a very important part of an organization because you get to see the players before the coaches do. Mm-hmm. And you get to pick the players that the coaches have to coach. So when we're not winning, it's your fault. Uh-huh. And when we're winning, it's your fault. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. So, but I had a great career in Denver. I was one of the up-and-coming young black scouts that at that time, you kind of pegged to be one of the leadership and management. Yeah. Which, it was a long shot as being a general manager, a black general manager. Mm-hmm. But, you have that goal. But then I was plucked away from Denver and hired by the Kansas City Chiefs. Uh-huh. And, that was a great experience because I got to work with Marty Schottenheimer, the late Marty Schottenheimer, and Carl Peterson. So I got to learn a lot more behind the scene things about management. And then I was plucked away in 2 years and went to Minnesota and got to work with the great Dennis Green. And that was an experience all in itself. Oh, yeah. Because now you get to be with a black head coach. Yeah. And a black president, which was Frank Gillen. Was my boss. And you got to see how they really operate and how all the years of their learning come into one. So I was like a sponge there. And then, all of a sudden it was over with. Yeah. But then I look at it, 18 years later, it's over with. Not like 2 or 3 years, but 18 years. Yes. And then I had to find my niche. Now I come back to Macon. Yeah. And now, since I was 5 years old, I've been in organized sports. Where to be, when to be, how to work out, how to dress, what to eat. Been told that since I was 5 years old. When to go to sleep. How much rest to get. And I live by that. And from having sons and a husband that was athletes. Yeah. We take pride in that. Right. And we believe whatever somebody says is gonna make you better, you're gonna do it. Go for it. Go for it. Yeah. And my husband, I believe one of the things with some of the conditions, health issues that he has, one of the reasons that he does as well as he does with those situations is because he has worked out over the years. He is very strong, and he knows exactly how to handle the situations. Lenny is still, he's working with some younger players who don't have that confidence yet. They're big, but they're young. And so he's working with some of them too. Yeah. So I can remember Senator Lucas calling me and say, "Hey, my boy's here. You need to come work him out." And I was like, "Okay, I'm in town." And I can remember when they was young. Yeah. just running around, just having fun. And then when they start really growing into being athletes,
Yeah.
I'm working with them and I'm showing them, different things about, their
Yeah.
position, and wind up bringing 2 of your boys in Minnesota.
Yeah.
That was I really wanted all of them.
Yeah.
But certain things about Al that our trainer wouldn't pass
Right.
the doctors. But
Right.
I got Lenny there.
Yeah.
And then I brought David up
Yeah.
for a tryout. So, and one of the things, every team that I've scouted for, one of the stipulations in my contract was, if I find a young man, a young athlete in my hometown or in my surrounding area, Middle Georgia area, that I wanted, and I thought he had a chance to make his team, I could bring him in without any questions.
I have to tell you, you have always done that.
Yeah.
You've always done that, and that people appreciate.
Yeah.
Really appreciate that, whether they were able to stick or not. Because this thing, I wanted to get to this for those young men and young ladies, whatever the sport, who have that potential and they're just going toward the sports end of it. What advice would you have for them as far as the balancing the academics and the athletics?
You have to put academics first. And one of the things that Coach told me when I was in college, Coach Sy and Coach White, they say it's 24 hours in a day. And your responsibility while you're here is about academics. That's what's going to keep you here. Athletics got you here, but your academics going to keep you
right.
Here. And that's what's going to be with you later in life. When all the accolades, all the crowd cheering stops,
right.
It's going to fall back on your
right.
academics. And I advise everybody, that's in athletics, I have a desire to go on and play college ball, that you're going to have to get your books.
Right.
And
right.
And I advise the parents, don't wait till they get into 11th
right.
and 12th grade.
Right.
It starts in the first,
right.
second, third grade, because they have to have that foundation. If they don't have that foundation, they fight an uphill battle all through school.
Yeah.
Because when the teacher asks them to read and they can't read the basics, now they get embarrassed, and now they act out, and now they get put out of class, and then they get put out of school, and then they want to fight because other kids are teasing them.
That's right.
And people don't understand that domino effect. If you don't have that foundation, it's going to affect you the rest of your life.
That's true. That's true.
And then once you do get to the college, you get an opportunity. Everybody can't play college ball.
That's true.
Everybody can't play Division I college football, but they are NAIA Division 3, 2, and 1. And
that's right.
FCS, which is 1AA. And you just take advantage of it. And you want to go and get from them what you need later in life. Is that education.
Because they're drafting from everywhere.
Everywhere.
Now, it's not just the largest schools now.
Yeah.
A lot of the scouts, and of course you as a scout know that some hidden treasures are in some of the, and especially HBCUs.
I was one.
Now. Exactly.
I was
exactly.
One. And one of my things was, every head coach and every director of personnel have told me that I work from Denver, Kansas City, Minnesota. I need you to go to the small schools. We need you to find you.
Yeah.
We need you to find you.
Yeah.
And I took pride in every team that I've been with. Every year, I've taken a kid or a young man from a HBCU or from a small, predominantly white school. It doesn't matter.
I love reading stories about those that might not have been on the radar, but they end up on the radar, and then you hear their story or you read their story. Former mayor of Jeffersonville, Sandra Mallory, is on. Cynthia Cersei, of course, and she says you're giving awesome advice. Maria Bryant with the NAACP, and y'all remember now, she's going to post the information again about the Freedom Fund banquet, which is going to be on Facebook during October. Senator Lucas is going to be the speaker. It's going to be a wonderful program. And one of there's some special recognitions that are gonna take place. And let's see, who else are we? Well, I think we've listed just about everybody. I believe we've got a caller. Welcome to Ask Elaine. Hello, caller. I guess our caller left us. Call back, please. I'm sorry. I'm just a little slow on picking up on the callers. I'm sorry, but if you're still there with us, please call back. 1-478-250-1444 is our call-in number. Our special guest today is none other than NFL standout Mr. Roger Jackson, and we're going to get to. He's told us a little bit about himself, and that is just fascinating. He's told us about the world of NFL football and the world of being a scout, one of the few black scouts in the NFL, and how he's treaded that path from the big schools to the smaller schools and picked up those gems. He's also told us that we don't need to point our kids toward just athletics, that while if they're good athletes, build that, but also build on being a scholar athlete, well-rounded. And y'all, they're giving scholarships now in cheerleading, in swimming, in tumbling, in tennis, in volleyball. Y'all watch the Olympics, all of those different, there are scholarships available. There's scholarships available for left-handed people. There's scholarships available for just about any category. Credit union members, Bib Teachers Mid-South, Federal Credit Union, Community Credit Union gives scholarships to the young people whose parents are members of it. So they're just all kinds of scholarships. Y'all ask your counselors. Their job is to help to move you along, to keep you in school, and to help you with the skills that you need to be a success, and to keep everything in focus and all of your talents to help you develop those talents. So ask your counselor. They're just waiting for you. Ask them, and don't start in 12th grade. No. You got to start. There are things that you need to do in 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, and then in 12th grade, you should know where you're going. You should know where you're going. You should be ready to take the entrance test. Yes. You should be you should be buying some of the stuff for your room. Exactly. Then, so you cannot wait. Parents, do not wait till 12th grade. It's too late. It's too late. Or you got to scramble. And there are some things out there for seniors now, but you need to start early. And don't let your kids tell you they've got enough time, because they don't have enough time. Take it from us. Now, Mr. Jackson, tell us about motivating youth. He not only is a standout football player, NFL football player, but also he has come back to this community and is giving back to this community. So tell us about Motivating Youth Incorporated.
That got started when I came back home and I tried my hand at teaching. I taught at Rutland Middle School and coached soccer. First soccer coach at Rutland Middle School when they first opened up. But then I didn't like rules, being on, you got a time schedule. Yeah, you do. You got a lot of things to do as a teacher. Yes, and you do. I wasn't used to that because as a scout, I had my own schedule. I know what time to be there, what time I got to watch film, what time is practice. Yeah. It's you're kind of free, but you're not free, because at the end of the day, you better have reports to write up and send back to the office. Lesson plans and all kinds of stuff. Tell me about it. So I was talking to Ron Taylor. He said, "Well, if you don't like the rules," Ron Taylor was your bro. Your brother was my boss, because I taught at McAvoy. Omega, y'all. Ruth. But he said, if you don't like the rules, you don't like the stipulation, start your own school. And I was like, well, he said nothing. And it kept eating at me. Start your own school. And I go home, I talked to my sister, and she said, he's right. If you don't like the rules, Just do it on
You
your
have
own.
to start your
You
own.
got to start your own, and that's how Motivated Youth came about. I
Uh-huh.
was doing
How long have you been? How
14
long?
years.
14. Oh, that's a long time.
Yes.
A lot of years working with young people. Tell us how the program works.
The program is, we started when I was just talking about, when you asked me about advice for parents for their kids.
Mm-hmm.
That same advice I took and started Motivating Youth.
Oh,
I didn't want to
okay.
start an athletic factory.
Right.
Well, we're just training athletes, and that's what everybody thought when we first opened up.
Uh-huh.
That it was going to be an athletic factory. We was going to be training kids in and out and just training. I wanted to start a tutorial center, getting our kids ready for life. And at that time, Bibb County Board closed all of the after school programs. It was like 18 after school programs in 2008. And we kind of fell into a great opportunity. On the east side, all the after school programs was closed down. And I was invited to help Bibb County Recreation Department do a back to school drive. And I raised all of these funds, got all of these school supplies, and we only had about 35 kids to show up at Rosie Jackson. So I loaded up my truck. And I went from neighborhood to neighborhood, giving out, book bags full of stuff.
Yeah.
And I got to Davis Homes, and I talked with Miss Chris and Miss Dorothy. They was the receptionist for the Family Investment Center, and they was like, I was like, well, what do y'all need? They said, oh, this, that, what do you got? And I was like, what do you need? How much? And so I just went out to the truck and bought out a big, huge box and just dropped it in the floor and said, here you go.
Yeah.
And they was like, hold on. Who are you? I said, nobody. I do this once a year. And they said, now, we want you to take a look at this building. We have a building here, and Mr. Hitchcock,
the Family Investment Center,
said, he'll let you have this space. I was like, I don't know building. So they went in a big coffee can of keys, the old coffee can, Maxwell House. And they couldn't open the door. Then finally I was like, I come back Tuesday. They like, you ain't coming back. You're going to see this today. And Miss Dorothy grabbed hold of my arm, and, they found the key. They opened the door, and, I looked at them, and, and I had been asking God, and this was God working. I've done everything that I wanted to do, and you granted me that wish in everything from college to pros to having a good life, providing for my mom and my sister and my brother. And at that point, I was looking for what I'm going to do with my life, because Ron had told me, start your own school. If you don't like this here, you can't show up on time. You can't stay after school and come to meetings. You need to start your own school. And I started crying. Hair stood up on my arm, and Miss Dorothy and Miss Chris, they started crying. And I knew then this is where I'm supposed to be. They said, you go and write it up and bring it back and turn it in, Mr. Hitchcock. John Hitchcock, who was over the Housing Authority.
Wonderful Housing Authority director.
And then it came, I met Miss Karen Middleton, who was transitioning to being over the Family Investment Center. And she helped me put the whole package together, because I had never done this before. And we put it together, and we had the colors of the walls, because I didn't know much about a computer then. And she was putting the colors in, and how the room's going to look, how the playground's going to look. And Ms. Hitchcock came in, and he looked at me, he said, come on, take a walk. And I've been waiting for a week.
He didn't have his canoe with him.
And we took a walk, and I started explaining everything. And then he said, well, let's go back and look at what you got, your presentation. And when he saw the presentation, he said, this is the exact same thing you talked about. He said, now who's going to run it? I said, I'm going to run it. I said, I'm not going to just put my name on it and be gone. He said, you got me sold then, if you're going to be here. And I stress education. Because our school system in 2008, 2009 was one of the worst in the state, in the country. And my thing was, and I've seen so many athletes come through the professional ranks, and if they don't make it, they don't have their college degree, they are outcast back home in their
That's
community.
one of the things that's one of the things that athletes need to look at and parents need to look at. That's the graduation rates in these colleges. How many athletes actually graduate? You don't have to, do that, because I know once you start playing, you can have a plan for completing.
Right.
But you need to take a look and see whether that school is about athletics and making money for them, or if they're about also making sure that they graduate the majority of their
And are they
athletes.
preparing you to
Exactly.
make money to be
Exactly.
a contributing factor in society?
Yeah, or you're just out there, and once that college is over, they made their money off of you. It's over.
Yeah,
it's over.
So we started the program, and we had about 110 kids. And when the parents found out that it wasn't going to be an athletic program, they pulled out about half those kids.
Oh.
But 2 years later, they was bringing those kids back, because now it was starting to be a factor in society of our educational system here.
Yeah.
And we had got off to a great start in our tutorial program at Motivating Youth. We hired teachers from the Bibb County school system, retired teachers that are still with me today. We had a staff at one point of about 38 people.
Oh, my.
38 teachers now, because I believed in hands-on. So we had 2 teachers, sometimes 3 teachers per classroom.
Yeah.
Because you have 3 different levels of students.
Right.
You have those that hadn't gotten it, you got those who almost got it, and then you got those who advanced.
Right.
So I need a teacher for each one of them,
Right.
where we won't have a disturbance.
That's right.
And you could walk in the building back then with 200 kids in there and hear a pin drop.
Yeah.
And I can remember Miss Juanita Jordan coming over from Peyton Anderson. She said, "How many kids you got here?" I said, 198. She said, "Where?" I said,
Juanita was a great lady.
She say, "What an instructional program." And we became really, really close friends. And she really enjoyed coming to visit. And that's why I used to tell everybody, just come see us.
Yeah.
And you don't have to call, because we stay ready.
Exactly. That's the thing. Don't be planning your dog and pony show for that time when I'm showing up. Maria Bryant with NAACP says, tune in to the NAACP award show and see the special people we are honoring in the Macon area.
Right.
The Macon Bibb Earl Shinholster Freedom Fund Awards program will be October 16th at 6 p.m. and the speaker will be none other than Senator David Lucas, your buddy.
That's going to be a good one.
And then we've got a hello from Shania Hargrove and Prophetess Shirley Person. Shania is one of our newly enrolled students there, and this person is her mentor.
Okay.
And Reverend Randall is one of her mentors as well, and sponsors. And we've got a lot of our people who tune in to us each week, and we're just so happy to have you there. Our time, oh my goodness, our time just goes. All right, now, Motivating Youth, that started the program. So what's going on now that you've added to it that's new and different? And we're going to run out of time, but keep on talking.
Okay. We had a program now that we had to start addressing the adults, and we had the crime rate in Macon is up, and we had to find a way to try to combat that and be a solution. So I started what we call now adult readiness program, and it works with dealing with convicted felons, people that have criminal records, people who just can't catch a break. Not that they got a criminal record, but they just can't catch a break, and they keep running into dead ends.
And they're good people.
They're good people.
people.
Even the people with criminal records are good people.
Yes,
because they've served their time.
They
deserve a break.
Yeah.
And my job was to go out and convince a lot of companies and businesses to hire once they come through our program. And our program teaches soft skills, career development, and customer service. And that's what our young people need. Old people need too.
Do.
Older people need too. How to act, how to carry yourself, and how, while you're here at work, you're here to work 8 hours, 10 hours, or whatever.
You can't come in, make your own schedule.
Okay.
You can't come in with the pants hanging around the knees.
Can't come in on the phone.
You can't come in with your phone all out or letting it ring.
And you can't be late.
you can't be late.
be
You
late.
got to be there on their time.
Right. And if you go to lunch, you got to come back.
Yes, you do. On time. On time.
You know.
Those are the kinds of things that people have to learn, that there are two systems you operate in. You know, with your homies and all of them, you know, you can be casual and have all of the tattoos and all of the jewelry and all that stuff. But when you're in a professional setting, it's got to be different.
It got to be different.
There are certain standards that you have to.
And that's what we're teaching. That's what we're teaching. And I convince a lot of companies, over 41 companies have hired from our program. And we've had 68 graduates, 68 enter, 68 graduate, and 62 got really, really good jobs. And we're going to start another class up.
That's
this
great.
coming Monday, the 27th.
Give them a contact number because we're about to run out of time.
478-320-4756. 478-320-4756.
If we can put that in the chat, that would be wonderful. That would be wonderful.
But we are working.
Is there a caller? We have time for one quick call. Caller, are you there? I guess not.
Wow. Nobody wants to talk to me.
Tune in next Wednesday. No, they're so interested in what you have to say until.
Just give me a call.
Yeah. Give us that number one more time.
478-320-4756.
Okay. If you want more information, or if you're in one of those categories that Mr. Jackson talked about, he would love to hear from you. I guarantee you that you will not be sorry if you. We formed a partnership where if you want to get your high school diploma, especially if you don't have but 2 or 3 credits to get, and you want your high school diploma, then by all means, contact us, and then we'll connect and we'll work you through this whole thing. We'll help you with your plan, and then he'll work on you with a job. So, I mean, all we can do is just lay it out there.
We need some effort from you.
Yes, we do. Our special guest today has been none other than the famous Maconite, NFL standout Roger Jackson, who started here in Macon and then went around the world as an advocate for Macon, Georgia, and has come back and has Motivating Youth Incorporated that's intended to help all of our folks who, for one reason or another, couldn't get that break. So it's just been wonderful having you there with us today. Be sure that you get the information on the NAACP Freedom Fund Banquet. All of you who have left messages in the chat, we just appreciate you so very much. We're going to look for you to be right here next Wednesday for another edition of Ask Elaine, when our very special guest is the first Black female District Attorney Anita Reynolds Howard, who will be our guest. And she has some wonderful programs that she is working with. And I believe she has connected with you on some programs. I know she's connecting with us at the school on some programs.
We've connected and we're working things out now where, you know, your sentence might be dismissed if you come through our program and get a job. And
depending on what it is and how you cooperate and all of those kinds of things.
So there's help out there, but we just need the effort from you all to come seek this help that we're giving.
Right.
You know, everything is free now.
All right.
It's free.
All right. But you got to put effort. That's how you pay for it. Thank you so much for tuning in. Tune in again next Wednesday for another edition of Ask Elaine right here on WDDO, on the Glory, the historic WDDO 980 AM, 107.9 FM, and on Facebook Live. So this is your voice, Commissioner Elaine Lucas, saying good afternoon. Thank you all for the birthday wishes. We look forward to having you right here again next Wednesday from 3 to 4 for another edition of Ask Elaine.
Connecting the community through gospel.